Hey, coaches. Welcome back to Football Talk with Coach Chip. If this is your first time, just welcome. Hey, before we get started, looking at the GH or the GF, depending on what you call your sniffer, be sure to subscribe and like the channel and share it with all your friends. How about that? We're going to be looking at the counter today. One of the dudes that subscribes, and he coaches ball up in the Carolinas. I've noticed him on social media, I believe it was on Twitter X, asking about this and talking about it. And it generated some good comments. And I get a lot of ideas from just, surfing the internet, listening to you when you email, when you comment. It's all about y'all. I'm going to do. If y'all don't give me any ideas, it's going to be whatever I want. He didn't intentionally do that, but I just got looking at it and I said, it's been a minute since I did a video on the counter like this particular one. Now, we did recently do the quarterback, and we talked about quarterback counter, but I want to talk about the counter, about why do it, the GH counter, pulling your sniffer, wrapping your sniffer instead of wrapping your backside tackle, and we'll talk about some pros and cons of that. What you see here is available free from Football Talk with Coach Chip for all subscribers to the channel. If you're already a subscriber and you haven't gotten some of this stuff and you want it, you see something that you want, just let me know. I'll send it all to you. We have found out it will all fit on one email as attachments. It comes to you in the form of PDFs. If you're already a subscriber, you can just share it, screenshot it, and say, hey, Coach, look at that, or put it on Twitter X and at me in it, and it'll pop up on there, and I'll send the stuff right on to you. And this quick passing game, I'm going to take it down pretty soon. It'll still be available, but instead of just promoting it, it's doing well still, but it has tapered off some. But it's a deep dive into things we've done over the years. But it works under center and it works in gun. It's just really good stuff. A lot of pre-snap reads. Most everything in quick game is or should be. All right, let's get started. All right, here you see a diagram of the counter with the GH blocking, and the formation's relevant. You can run it from split the tight end out, bring the tight end in. It doesn't matter. Some people even pull the tight end and will flank out the H, what I call the H out here. The advantages right off the bat. Why run GH over GT? Well, it depends on your personnel. It's gap down backer on the front side, but on the back side, what are you talking about? Do you have an athletic tackle? Or would you rather let your tackle stay and secure the backside? 90% of H's are going to be more athletic than 90% of tackles. And that's one of the reasons to do it. Now you're getting them comparable. I mean, when you do conditioning, you group the H's and tight ends in with the linebackers, don't you? Because they're comparable skill set. So that's one reason to do it. Getting this guy right here involved in the blocking, wrapping him instead of the tackle. And then another example of why to do it, let's just say, okay, so I made the tackle look bad. I made the tackle sound bad then. All right, let's make the H sound bad and promote the tackle. Another reason to pull the H instead of the tackle, if you've got a board dog here on the backside playing defensive end, to the point, that's the reason you're running away from him. You're running counter away from him. Would you rather have the H blocking that dude or a guy of comparable size blocking that dude? So that's another reason to do it. Now, I'm not going to show it to you versus a whole bunch of different fronts. I did it against a 3-3 just to do it against something, and I get a lot of people say, everything's against an even. And so I just did it against an odd front, 3-3, which is, like I said, if you can block it, you can block any odd front. But those are two reasons right there that teams do it. And I have noticed that Michigan in the last few years has run a lot more of this than traditional power and using it like a power. Now, here's the other question. Is it counter just because it's blocked this way? Because there's no counter in the backfield. Now, you can turn it into a counter and change nothing except this guy right here, putting him in jet motion. Okay, snap it about the time you normally snap it on jet. You don't even need a fake. That's your fake. So you can do that and turn it into a true counter with counteraction in the backfield. You know, this is an age-old debate, like what came first, the chicken or the egg. Is it a counter if there's no counter step? If that back's not jab stepping, if you're running it just sidecar, like a buck almost. I used to work on a staff that we got in the wing T formation, the basic wing T flat back formation, and didn't run wing T. Our buck was counter, GT. We did run the belly, okay, and did run the trap, but there was no counter in the backfield. We GT counter blocked it, but the running back was set sidecar and just cross face like buck, and that was it. So that's a question for you guys. It's not an argument. It's just a discussion. Is it counter just because you use traditional counter blocking? For instance, I've known guys that were 2x2 spread, couldn't zone worth a crap. So instead of zoning, they ran GT counter. There was no counter in the backfield. They'd offset the back, and then the quarterback would read the backside defensive end. Is that a counter? And that's a good example. When you're in 2x2 spread, you have to GT it because you don't have the H in there unless you motion him in or shift him in pre-snap. So there's all types of reasons that teams do it. And these are just a few that I've talked about. Now, be warned, if you turn it into a true counter, and what I mean by that is motioning this guy, pre-snap, faking jet, and coming back, you're risking this guy falling in. Okay, he can fall in. Now, if they bump the entire linebacking core, bump him out here to take jet, bump Mike over to here, bump Will over to here, and then bump the outside backer into here, then you're good. But if they just bring him in right here, where he can just fall in or fold in and make the play, they're unaccounted for. We've talked about that many times when we're talking about counters. Or he comes up here and comes hard off the edge, he may be able to hit that in the mouth before it gets going good. So be aware of that. Now, I like, and we talked about this in the quarterback, using the quarterback in your run game video, but this is just the easiest RPO ever. All you got to do is watch this cat. If he's taking away the hitch, and if he can take away the hitch by being right here, then he can't fall in. Okay? And if he's bumping in, if he's where he can make the play, just tell your quarterback, all you got to do is flash fake, throw that joker. You can pre-snap it, post-snap it. If you want to post-snap it, you're looking to see, is he buzzing in here? Is he buzzing in here on the snap? Okay, and you're not, I think they'll give it away, at the high school level and below, if they're going to play inside. And if they're apex right here, then I would turn out right here. I would turn out instead of turn in, run an out hitch. I was sitting under Dearman, the UNA head coach, recently at a clinic, and he does a lot of that right there, the turn out. So you can do a turnout hitch and post-snap that joker, and that guy could be right in here where he could play both, and he's where he thinks he can play both, but he can't. If you know what I mean. He can't. Because if you turn out, so the hitch doesn't always have to be open up to the quarterback. It can be a turnout, almost like the old-fashioned deep turnout that teams do. So you can do it that way. Let's look at a few videos. I've had this video in my computer. I don't know how long. I don't even know where it came from. I can't tell who it is. It's one of those overhead shots, maybe done from a cable, or one of those shots done from a drone, but it is a great shot of the GH counter. You can see what we got going here. It's too tight in, and so they can bring a lot of people into the party. And the way you're going to block it, gap down backer right here, right here, right here. The way they do it is here. 53 cuts the piss out of this damn DN right here, I'm telling you. And then they're going to pull kick with the guard, and then they're going to pull wrap with the H. Here's another advantage I didn't mention. Teams that like to come flying in here and cut this guy, and referees don't call it because apparently it's illegal for offensive guys to hit below the waist, but not for defensive guys, but that's another story. Some call it. I've seen it called 40 years. I've seen it called 3 times. 2 of those times with the game I was just watching, not even coaching in. All right. The other thing I was going to tell you is this. This H is already starting at a different depth. If you go back and look at some other counter videos that we've done, we talk about this tackle has got to get more depth, be on a different level than the guard, so this guy can't come in here and bowling ball him and take out 2 for the price of 1. Remember, I call that BOGO, buy 1, get 1. So now you got a free runner right here with target practice on your running back. So that's another reason, advantage to running the GH, is the H is deeper. He is deeper, and I think the depth also allows him to see any kind of run-through action that you may get from a linebacker, that he can come off that and make the block here, okay, instead of wrapping all the way, because that's the guy he ends up on anyway. And so that's another advantage. But watch this. Great job staying on his track by the tight end right here, going back to a little bit of gap down backer stuff. Can't help it. It's in me. Watch. No, he's not on my track. I'll get that backside backer. I think the lineman should have stayed in here and he'd have got 71, but it didn't matter because he broke the tackle. It's a good football play. And see, this is the GH. 63, stay there, stay there, stay there. And you're still good. And good job by the wrapper. Watch him. You go, staying tight. Boom. Fit up on that inside number, which is that's ideal. To fit up on that inside number. Now you're going to see in a minute somebody fitting up on outside. Listen, once they get there, but coach them to get that inside number. And if the backer doesn't give it to them, they're good. You still got a chance, and that thing can bounce out. I mentioned Michigan earlier, and I've watched a ton of them because they do so much gap scheme, and like I said, I'm addicted to it. And this is from 2 years ago. It was the year they played Georgia in the first round of the college football playoff, and they're going to run it right here. Again, notice it's like a buck kind of the way he gets it. And he hits that thing right there. But you're going to get blocking down. And I think this one, I think they pulled a center. So it's a CH instead of a GH, but you'll see what I'm talking about, the same concept. Yeah. So they pulled a center. Now I have read on more than one occasion they communicate and they're taking the angles. See, he's got a better angle right there. He's going to get right there. So instead of having, this is an undersized dude on one of Georgia's dudes, you're going to do this and get him on an athlete. Athlete on an athlete, big on big. And they're looking for angles. So here you see the angle, boom, boom, angle here. That's good stuff. Angle here. That's good stuff. And then there's your kicker. And of course, at a different level, deeper, there's your wrapper. And it ends up bouncing out for a good play in a game where they didn't have a ton of them. Here you go. You know, you want to get that inside number. This linebacker does a good job not giving it to him. And the 83 is a little bit wide. It probably should have been a little tighter to the down blocks right there. But it's a good football play. You get a good kick right here. 83 fits up in there. You know, any block is not a bad block. Just saying, ideally, we teach inside number. All right, now here's another. I just have a side view of this one. You're going to go to the left. You're getting your downs, your back, and when you're going to get him on him. So you're big on big. You're big on big all the way across, and then you're going to pull, kick there, and here comes your H, your F, whatever you call them in your system, as the wrapper. So you're big on big. Here comes your wrapper. They did a good job spilling it, and that's why that thing had to he ended up on the outside number of the backer. So you got really no lineman on a backer. That was the safety, wasn't it? It's good stuff. Yeah, safety spinning down. Linebacker gets caught up in the wash. Boom, good job. And of course, you've seen before, I've used a ton of Niner clips to demonstrate gap down backer because they run the co-living P out of it. They're going to do a little jet action here and then wrap him as you're getting the down blocks. The guard's going to pull kick, and the H is going to wrap to the second level. And this is a true counter because they're going to fake the jet, okay? And they're going to give it to the running back right here. So that's a good football play. You pull in the H, look at the depth. See, look, they're different levels. So if they do that, and you don't see much of that in NFL, but if they do that, then he can come around and then the running back follow him. And of course, you're teaching the running back to hug the down blocks and follow the wrapper. So if they come in and wrong shoulder or blow up the kicker, then this guy can easily bounce right here, and you've still got a football play running it outside. All right, coaches, that's it. Running counter with your sniffer, running the GH instead of the GT. Why? You tell me. I've given you several reasons why teams do it, several reasons why we've done it over the years, several reasons why to run the GT instead of the GH too. You tell me. Hit me up at siegel.chip@gmail.com if you want some of the freebies, or you can hit me up down below in the comment section. And it's siegel.chip@gmail.com, at Coach Chip on Twitter or X. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to Football Talk with Coach Chip. Hey, until next time, y'all, be elite.